Hey guys, it's Jess with CFit Studio. So throughout the year, we always set up goals for ourselves, challenges, things that we would like to achieve, and then we work really hard throughout the year to achieve them. Typically it starts with New Year's resolutions, and as the year progresses, we modify those goals as things occur, as we progress faster than we thought, maybe we need to regress due to an injury, things like that. But regardless of what our goals are, we really need to have a strong foundation. And here at CFit Studio, we like to focus on functional integrative training, hence the FIT. It's actually corrective functional integrative training for everybody who doesn't know what our studio name actually stands for. But the foundation is really the most important. So whether you're a dude who wants to get jacked and really build a ton of muscle, or if you're a lady who wants to slim down and tone up and just kind of shape her body a little bit, or if you just want to be healthy, be able to put on your shoes without groaning, take your shirt off without having shoulder pain. Regardless of what your goals are, you need to have a strong foundation. CFIT stands for Corrective Functional Integrative Training. We really focus on the function no matter what, because as great as it would be to be a dude that gets jacked, if you can't take off your own shirt, it doesn't really mean much overall in the actual application to living your daily life. So the first step of setting up a strong foundation is just like a house, from the ground up. So we're gonna start with basically our ankles, our feet, our calves. So I'm gonna show you a couple calf stretches and activation moves that you can do at home anywhere. There's only gonna be about 4 of them that I'm gonna show you. There's actually a ton that you can do, but these you can do anywhere. You can take them traveling, you can just do them while you brush your teeth in the morning, because the more frequently you do something for mobility, the more it will actually benefit you. So that said, hopefully you guys can still see me. All right, so the first one is a traditional one that y'all have seen many times before, that we usually is one of the first stretches we learn when we get into the fitness world, is a calf stretch, typically on the wall. So there are 2 main calf muscles. We have the Gastroc for short and the Soleus. So the Gastroc is the big one that everybody sees, the one that really gets strengthened on the runners and tennis players. You know, it's the biggest calf muscle that you see when you look at the leg. So you want to prop the ball of your foot up against the wall, and I don't know if y'all can see, you can, okay. If y'all can see that angle, so the ball of my foot, not my toes, but the ball of my foot is pressed against the wall. My heel is planted, my leg is straight. Now what people tend to do here is now they'll grab the wall, or if it's a flat wall, they can't grab it, but they'll lean their chest forward and they'll keep their hips back. This might stretch your hamstring and get a little bit into the calf, but it's not as effective as it could be. So you want to take and lead with your hips as close to that wall as you can get. Now this will stretch all the way mostly into the gastroc, that big head of the calf. But we want to stay here, and any static stretch when you're trying to do lengthening needs to be about 30 to 45 seconds. I like to think about it as about 8 breaths, 8 solid type of breaths. So you're going to be here, you're going to hold it. Now the other portion, the other calf muscle that I mentioned was the Soleus. The Soleus is underneath the gastroc, and it kind of stretches all the way through the length, rather than the gastroc kind of sits up here in a ball, not counting the attachment points or anything. So you're going to go here, same position, lead up there as close as you can get, and then while you're still here, you want to try to bend that knee. Now what that knee will do is that'll transfer the stretch mostly from right here. It'll drop it a little lower onto the leg and maybe even get into the ankle. And so that will target more of the Achilles if you have a really, really tight Achilles, or an adaptively short Achilles. It'll work into the Soleus. So this is the second half. So you can stand here like this. This is one way to do it. You can stay up tall like this and then bend, but just be easy on it. They can get really tight really fast, especially with a lot of us. We sit down all the time, and us ladies, we like to wear heels. These are actually horrible for us. So be easy, but be diligent and stubborn. Give it a good 8 to 10 breaths, even longer if needed, and try to do that multiple times a day. So those are 2. The other stretch is, hold back up so you can see me. Okay, so you can use a wall too as well. I like to do a half kneeling, and so there's a couple different ways you can do this. I always like to get more bang for my buck, so if I can do more than one thing at a time, I want to do that. So you're going to back up your knee a little bit, so you kind of have a deep angle stretch in the hip, so it'll hit the front half of the back leg, which that's just the bonus. What we're actually working on is, I don't know if you can see this angle where my knee is now in front of my toe. This angle right here is what we're working on. This is our dorsiflexion ankle, basically meaning when you can flex your foot up towards your shin. We want to increase that angle. So you can go here, you can even get up here, go to a wall, kind of go about 4 to 6 inches away from it, and then lean that knee towards the wall, keeping the heel on the ground, right? So that's a lot easier said than done. A lot of people kind of get stuck about here, and then they kind of let their heel come up. Keep this heel on the ground. So any of these can be done. You can be sitting here brushing your teeth, you know, right? Stretching your calf. So those are some stretches. There's a lot of different stretches that you can do to lengthen and open up your ankles. But after you're done lengthening and calming the muscle down, you really want to activate it. And so one of the ways to activate, and so what we're actually activating, let me be clear, is not the muscle we just stretched. It's actually the opposite muscle. So in addition to setting up good mobility with our ankles, we get really tight calves, but then the front half of our shin gets really sleepy, especially when we're always walking around like this for the ladies, or if we never really squat anymore, right? A lot of people don't squat anymore, especially in the modern world. So the front half of our shins get really tired. So we got regular traditional gastroc stretch, then you can bend for the Soleus stretch, kneel, hinge forward, right? Without a wall, that's fine, get this nice deep angle, or you can get a little closer, use the wall to track your progress, see how far you can get, right? After that, we want to activate the front half of our leg. And again, there are many ways to do this, but this is one way that you can do anywhere. I usually grab a wall, I tuck my other leg behind me, kind of figure 4, but I'm not pushing against it or anything. And then you're just going to raise up onto the toe, and you back down. So from the side, and you come up onto your toe, and back down. Up onto your toe, and back down. Right? So this will work your calf, sure. But by focusing on the single leg, you're actually really activating that front half of your tibia, the anterior tibialis as well. And then because you're really pushing into the floor, you're also working a little bit of the posterior tibialis, which is actually deep in our calf. You actually can't see it when you just kind of look. But anyway, those are 4 activations / stretches that you can do anywhere to really help start with a strong foundation while we chase our goals. Again, there are a lot of things we can do for this. We have a bunch of tools, bands, we can do distracted exercises, really open up the joints to give you full range mobility. That's why we're here. Come talk to us, tell us your issues. We'll try to help you get you the best mobility so you can live the best life that you can. But this is where we start. Do them often, once a day, twice a day. If you have an issue, I would recommend you try to do them as frequently as possible to get the best result. But if you have any questions, give us a call, 757-514-1180. Other than that, we're in downtown Suffolk and you know where to find us. Thanks guys, bye.